If I could begin to be half of what you think of me, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love. When I see the way you act, wondering if I'm coming back, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love like you. Love like you. Love like you. I always thought I might be bad now. I'm sure that it's true, 'cause I think you're so good, and I'm nothing like you. Look at you go, I just adore you. I wish that I knew what makes you think I'm so special. If I could begin to do something that does right by you, I would do about anything. I would even learn how to love. When I see the way you look, shaken by how long it took, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love like you. Love me like you.
Leave me be, say goodbye. You can't help, why must you try? Why must you stay with me? Your battles won, go with your family.
It's not fair to be alone after what you've been through, so let me just ease your pain. Please let me stay with you. I'll continue to reach out. I won't abandon you. Determination fuels me to keep trying to save you. I will give you my mercy, because it's clear to me fighting wasn't anything. Forgiveness isn't easy. I will stay here by your side. I know it's frightening to think that you might not leave, but that, my friend, is why I will spend life always. I'll hold you tight and close. We will be together here until it's safe to go. Continue to reach out. I won't abandon you. Determination fuels me to keep trying to save you. I will give you my mercy, because it's clear to me fighting wasn't anything. Forgiveness isn't easy. I will stay here by your side. I know it's frightening to think that you might not leave, but that, my friend, is why I will spend life always. I'll hold you tight and close. We will be together here until it's safe to go.
Life is thinking the world is often unfair, and growing up to accept this. Life is trying new things. Life is breaking out of your shell or inviting others in. Life is imagination. It's those small compliments that make your day big. It's learning to choose needs over wants and using your words wisely. Life is perfectly imperfect. It's clashing morals, making mistakes, making a friend. Life is white lies in common interests. Life is closing some doors to open others, or giving up old toys to play with new ones. Life is knowing your limits and embracing your strengths. Life is admiring other people's gold without acknowledging yours. Life is perfectly imperfect. Life is spontaneous and exciting. It's training to see obstacles as challenges. Life is realizing that monsters can get lonely too. Life is draining, and inner conflict and self-doubt. Life is fascinating. It's learning from those you admire and those you don't. Life is waiting for a better tomorrow. It's living to love and loving to live. Life is taking matters into your own hands. Life is self-respect and being your own best friend. Life is self-improvement and doing what really counts when it really matters. Life is having your own version of a love story. Life is breathtaking. Life is knowing it won't last forever. Life is inspiring. Life is getting lost and finding something you'll never want to lose. Life is fragile and complicated and hard work. Life is listening and following your passion and learning to dance in the rain when no one else will. And following your heart, no matter where it takes you. Life is beautifully complicated and perfectly imperfect. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Tell me, am I going crazy? Tell me, have I lost my mind? Yeah. Am I just afraid of loving? Or am I not the loving kind? Yeah. Kissing in the moonlight, movies on a late night, getting old. I've been there, done that, supposed to be high, better just go. Yeah. Somebody wake up my heart, light me up, set fire to my soul, yeah. Cause I can do it anymore. Yeah. Give me that can't sleep love. Give me that can't sleep. Can't sleep love. Give me that can't sleep. I dream about all day, the kind that keeps me up all night. Give me that can't sleep love. Yeah. Maybe I'm too picky, honey, but I'm not in the world you're in. I'm not in it for the money. Ooh, I'm here looking for the real thing. Kissing in the moonlight, movies on a late night, getting old, yeah. I've been there, done that, supposed to be high, but it's just gone. Somebody wake up my heart, light me up, set fire to my soul, yeah. Cause I can do it anymore. No. Give me that can't sleep, no.
Paranoia is described as feeling extremely nervous about irrational thoughts commonly around the idea that you are in danger or that people do not like you. I actually consider myself a pretty chill person, and most people that know me would probably agree. Almost a decade's worth of exposure to questionable content on the internet has pretty much given me a high tolerance for theoretical dangers. Like all people, however, I have my quirks, and although I might not show it on the outside, I do actually find myself worrying about all sorts of unlikely scenarios. With that being said, here's 5 of my most paranoid thoughts. Number 1. Lollipops. Yeah, I said it. Lollipops make me extremely uncomfortable. It's weird, I know, but hear me out, guys. These things are basically a double-edged blade. You've got a stick that's perfect for poking people's eyes out, and then you've got the other end, which is a spherical ball of colored sugar that's just the right size to get lodged in your throat. It's worse when people aren't even using their hands for it. I absolutely cannot stand seeing people walking around with that stick in their mouth. Still not convinced? Take this scenario for instance. Imagine yourself out in the busy streets on your way to work. You've got this long stick in your mouth, happy as can be, when suddenly the guy in front of you accidentally elbows you in the mouth. Can you imagine the horror that must feel like, choking on the tasty sphere that once brought your childhood cheer and joy? Death by lollipop. Not a good way to go. Number 2. Birds flying over me. This is probably one of my most lifelong paranoid thoughts, and people that hang out with me can confirm that I always, without a doubt, flinch at the sight of a bird flying overhead. It's gonna happen to me, I've come to terms with that, it's basically a reflex, and I know exactly what the source of this fear is. When I was in grade 2, my class and I were outside on our way to the library when, lo and behold, I got pooped on. Did you guys know that not all bird poop is white? I didn't know that until that day. After feeling a splat on my head and examining the brown goop, I actually thought that someone behind me had thrown mud at me as a joke. After blowing up in their faces with my false accusations, they kindly informed me of my true culprit. It's been over 10 years since that incident, and to this day I continue to cringe at the sight of those deadly wind demons. Number 3. Kermit the Frog. Guys, this is very difficult to admit, but I have an illogical fear that Kermit wants to kill my entire family. And it's such a hard thing to live with because I grew up on the Muppets. I can appreciate Miss Piggy or Pepe or that blue mosquito guy any day, but something about Kermit just makes my skin crawl. I think it might be the eyes or the creepy way he flops around when he's happy. Also, when I was 9, I had a dream that Kermit climbed out of my toilet and tried to kill me, so, you know, that might have something to do with it. Number 4. Bus doors. Ugh. This one really gets on my nerves, and it's a fear that I have to deal with every day on my way to school. Basically, if I'm on a bus, I will always get up and stand near the door for a good 2 or 3 stops before my actual stop. See, our buses have these pushy door thingies that activate with touch, so when you arrive at your stop, you simply tap the door and get yourself off the bus. For some reason, I get these horrible paranoid thoughts that the bus driver is going to close off the doors before I can get out. In my defense, this is actually a logical fear because I have seen it happen with my own eyes. I have seen the look of crushed dreams in the poor victim's eyes when they don't make it to the door in time and find themselves being pulled away from their destination. The funny thing is, I'm totally aware that even if I did happen to miss my stop, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I'd have to walk a few blocks extra, sure, but whatever, right? Even while knowing that the consequences wouldn't even be that bad, in the moment, it's basically the worst thing that I could possibly imagine could happen to me. The door, it's... Number 5. Blunders. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my mother of all fears. I hate blunders. I will not use one, I will not touch one, I will not go near one. You know how dogs are afraid of vacuum cleaners and hide from the sound? That's basically my relationship with blunders. It is such a terrifying, unfriendly, violent, and unnecessary sound. No matter how safe people try to convince me that blunders are, I just can't stand the possibility of this contraption becoming the end of me. Now that I think about it, I remember watching an episode of 1,000 Ways to Die where this dude was making a smoothie with like this really old blender, and it basically ended up blowing up in his face. The blade flew out like some sort of ninja star and slit his throat. He died a horrible, bloody death. So I guess I can blame TB for my irrational fear. I know the chances of my blender blowing up in my face are unlikely, but, you know, you never know. Also, I'm just warning you guys now, if you somehow find yourself going to my wedding 10 years from now and you want to get us appliances for our house, do not get us a blender. I do not like them. I swear I will kill you with it in your sleep.
Let's go, just me and you. Let's go, just 1 on 2. Go ahead and try hit me if you're able. Can't you see that my relationship is stable? I can see you hate the way we intermingle, but I think you're just mad cause you're single.
One, two, three.
The underside is lighter when you turn it around.
Hey, how you doing? Well, I'm doing just fine. I lied, I'm dying inside.
Hello? Hey, what's up? I need your help. Can you come here? I can't. I'm buying clothes. Alright, well, hurry up and come over here. I can't find them. What do you mean you can't find them? I can't find them. There's only soup. What do you mean there's only soup? It means there's only soup. Well, then get out of the soup aisle! Alright, you don't have to shout at me! There's more soup! What do you mean there's more soup? There's just more soup! Go into the next aisle! There's still soup! Where are you right now? I'm at soup! What do you mean you're at soup? I mean I'm at soup! What store are you in? I'm at the soup store! Why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Fuck you!